Glamhive Live. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jessa Moyer, and we are about to get ready for the perfect pairing, our next panel. Thanks so much for your patience. Of course, we're a little fashionably late, but I can promise you it is worth the wait. Just a friendly reminder, be sure to use the hashtag GlamhiveLive when you're sharing all the great content you are about to get. Brian Underwood is moderating the next panel. Brian?
Thank you so much, Jeslyn. Hi, everyone. Again, I'm Brian Underwood. I'm the beauty director of Oprah Daily, and I am so excited to be here with some of the best pros in hair and makeup here in the beautiful Albright Fashion Library to talk the perfect pair, hair and makeup. And without further ado, let's turn to our incredibly esteemed panel. We'll start way down there on the end with the incredible Carissa Ferreri, who is a celebrity makeup artist and groomer who's worked with Gina Rodriguez, Annette Bening, and Suki Waterhouse, of course, amongst many more. Hi, Carissa.
Hi.
It's been 3 years since we've seen each other. So
Yes,
good to
it
see
has.
you
It's so good to see you. Thanks for having me.
And right next to Carissa, we have the incredible celebrity hairstylist, Larry Sims, who has worked with Gabrielle Union, even created a hairline with Gabrielle, worked with her on a hairline, I know, as well as Regina King. Larry, thank you so much for being here. It's so good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
And last but certainly not least, my new best friend, celebrity makeup artist, Autumn Moultrie. She's worked with Viola Davis, Naomi Osaka, just anyone that you know, Autumn has probably worked with. Welcome, Autumn. So good to have you.
Thank you.
So let's talk the perfect pairing. But first, I want to talk a little bit to each of you about what your career journey has been. Autumn, talk to us a little bit about how you got into this wild and wonderful industry.
Oh gosh. I started many years ago after graduating from college, and I came back to LA. And
because you're an LA girl,
I'm
right?
an LA girl, yeah. And I just didn't really know what I wanted to do. My dad was in the music industry. I would go on to sets, and I was enthralled by the transformation. But I was afraid to ask my parents or tell my parents that that's what I wanted to do, because I didn't think that they would approve. And I did it anyway, and I had a friend who was an agent, and she just prematurely sent me out on jobs, and I wasn't ready to do it, but I learned. Then I got with Hype Williams, and I did music videos for 10 years straight.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, every single day practically. It was like a party for a decade.
Sounds like a fun party. I want to be invited.
It was really fun. But anyway, I learned a lot. I was doing like 30 girls, and I had like 5 assistants, and I just learned on the job, and I had so much fun. And anyway, I met a few celebrities who were like, or girls who weren't celebrities who were like, when I make it big, I'm gonna use you. And one of them was Sierra, and the other was Vanessa Bryant, Kobe's wife, who ended up.
They made it big.
Yeah. So then I left music, because I was primarily doing music industry, and then I wanted to do actresses, so I switched agencies, and then I started doing actresses, and then now I'm at the Wall Group, and I couldn't be happier.
Incredible. Larry, how about you? Was hair always something that you knew you had a passion for doing?
Yeah, for me, it's been interesting because I was a dancer for many years.
Oh, wow.
Professionally. From Chicago, got here, started working with Missy Elliott. I did the Get Your Freak On music video. And to make a long story short, I ended up meeting glam people through doing a lot of videos and TV shows as a dancer. And, you can't dance for forever. I didn't want to be 40 auditioning for Britney Spears. So I transitioned, and Victoria Beckham was the first person that really gave me a shot through Kim Pavis. And it just has grown since.
Wow. Wow. So what skills do you bring with you from dancing to your career now and as a celebrity hairstylist? There any crossover?
I feel like you just have to have that same level of energy. People love how you make them feel, and, making people feel amazing while you're performing on stage. It's a performance when you're getting them ready in the glam room. too. So, you know.
That's so true. You're so right. Hi, Carissa. How about you? Talk to us about how you got to where you are.
I guess I started as a wee little girl playing dress up in my room and loving like Madonna music videos and loving movies. I was really drawn to movies that had that sort of makeover transformation. I remember
Duckling to Swan, kind of.
Yes, exactly. Like Olivia Newton-John in Grease when she comes out in like that bad girl outfit at the end, and Clueless when they make over. I forgot her name now.
Brittany Murphy's character.
Yes, Brittany Murphy's character. Like all those sort of movies, I was drawn to. I also grew up dancing, and I remember like when I got to wear makeup on stage and kind of like how that was different than everyday makeup, I thought was really fascinating. But I didn't know makeup existed as a career. I loved fashion magazines. My mom was really big. She would always, had the Vogues, and she would save them for, decades basically. And I would love looking through those. And she had a lot of products. So I always loved her products and like would sneak her lipsticks and things like that. So I was kind of on this path that I didn't really know I was path until, you kind of look back now. But while in college, I was working at MAC Makeup Counter and really fell in love with that and doing all my friends' makeup.
I can't tell you how many pros I've talked to that we got our start working at the counter.
Yes.
It's incredible.
I kind of thought that's all there ever was with makeup until I think I was watching the Academy Awards one year, and it was like award for best makeup. And I was like, wait, what?
Award?
Yeah. What does this mean? And so after I graduated, I was like, I want to be a makeup artist, which my parents were not too happy with. But, and this was before social media and before, you really got to see what makeup artist was and behind the scenes of it all. And I did it anyway. And
incredible.
Yeah.
Larry, Carissa mentioned social media. It's changed so much of what we do in beauty and style. For an aspiring professional to get into an exciting but competitive industry, what do you think is the key to kind of setting yourself apart, setting yourself up for success in this industry?
Yeah, it's interesting because coming up, I know a lot of us didn't have social media, and we really had to just be creative and really true to our art. Our art spoke for itself. With these days, it's, the access is there. You basically can have a portfolio as your page. And I think it's important to make sure that it is representative of you as a creative. If you're coming up, I think, testing and doing shoots that look really professional and print worthy is important. And making sure that, you also as a person, as an artist, present yourself. Like I do photo shoots a few times a year just to make sure that, magazines and those sorts of things have fresh shots of me, and it attracts a different sort of client that looks at your profile.
Right. Well, we're here now talking to you all. People are interested in you. So I think you're so right having yourself represented in addition to your work, but having yourself represented on your social media page is a huge part of it, I would imagine. How about you? What are your thoughts and advice for pros who are just starting out to sort of make it?
As far as social media or
just in general? Just in general.
Well, I just want to say that, just to add to what Larry was saying about social media, I think that that is very astute of Larry to cultivate his own image, because I got in this industry not wanting to be in front of the camera. I specifically wanted to be behind the scenes.
Which is probably something a lot of pros feel, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know, but I don't know, but I adapt because I had to. So this is new to me, basically. But anyway, I still think that the fundamentals of professionalism apply. And I think that
such good advice.
Although you have access now and you can sell yourself and you can basically have a portfolio that anyone can see, you still have to respect the industry. You have to respect the person that you're working with. You have to respect, if you're assisting, you have to respect, when I say the person that you're working with, the artist, but also you have to respect the creative that you're assisting. You have to know their rules. I mean, there are rules. Even though it's freelance and it's fun, there are rules to the game. And you have to know those rules, and you have to learn them, and you have to find out what they are, and you have to be humble, and you have to try hard, and you have to not put yourself first, even though we have become like celebrities of what we do. We're still in a service position. We still serve whoever we're doing hair or makeup for.
Right.
And to me, that, like, I've always known that, but I'm surprised how many young people don't understand that.
Right. On the last panel that I moderated with wardrobe stylists, they reiterated the importance of assisting. Carissa, what do you think that's like an integral part of cutting your chops in the hair and makeup space as well?
Well, personally, I assisted for so long, years and years and years. I assisted.
Because a lot of pros
anyone.
now, they can use social media to show their work and feel like maybe assisting's not as big a part of it anymore. What is your thoughts?
Yeah, I actually wonder that myself, because it is such a new era, and it's not an era I'm coming up in a different sort of way, where assisting is now beyond me, but still think assisting is important, because I still think that no matter what kind of education you can get is important, and you're not gonna grow to be your best self without that. So I know there's a lot of other avenues now with social media and YouTube, and someone coming up can actually put themselves and show viewers what they can do. But I still think, I would assist like right now too. Like, I love learning. And I think if you're going to be in a creative space, and an artist especially, you have to continuously learn, because it's changing constantly.
Right. Amazing.
So I like assisting, and I would suggest assisting, but I don't know what's going on nowadays.
Well, we just came off of like a fun red carpet few weeks with the Met Gala, with the Emmys. You've all worked on both of those carpets, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I want to ask you all, it must be so much pressure, and there's so many variables that you think of. And with social media, people are zooming in right to the eye to see what that look like, to see what that line looks like. How do you handle that pressure? Do you just keep it out of your brain and focus on the creating process?
Okay, that's an excellent question, Brian. I think that I had so much fun doing the Met Gala. I did Allison Felix and Simone Biles. But so yes, there is pressure, but I just turn like pressure, nervousness into excitement. Amazing. I just tell myself, like, I'm so excited, but it's because I really am. I'm like, I was super excited to be creating a look that was going to be something that I wouldn't necessarily do for another red carpet, more artistic, and it had a theme of Americana. So I just look at it as excitement, and also I don't know. I am in a position to make people happy. I love making people happy. Right. I love making people feel good. I love making people beautiful and feel like their best self. So I look at it like I'm in a position to make them be able to harness their power. Yeah. And so that's how I do it.
Larry, how about you? What's your strategy for handling that pressure? There's every camera angle, making sure the hair looks good from every paparazzi shot on the carpet. How do you juggle that all?
Yeah, so I think my rep is more stressed out than I am on the days. Like, he tried to talk me down on the number of people that I was gonna do, and I'm like, no, Spence, I can do it. Like, we had cars set up to take me from one hotel to the next, so I wouldn't have to wait for Ubers. And like with Gabrielle, for example, we did like a test run the day before.
Right.
And thankfully we did, because, the test run didn't work out the way we had planned. Yeah. So we had a moment to adjust, and, I had assistants on deck, but like anything can happen. For example, like I have one client who I won't name that I was doing for Met this year. And I did Regina King as well. Yeah. But I had one client who I'd done, rushed to her, and it put her sandwich in the middle, created this really elaborate style that was high, and it was, really amazing. We went for it for Met. I left her to go to Regina. I get my phone's blowing up, text messages after text messages. Yo, we have to adjust, we have to pivot. We put on the dress, and then her neck started hurting. So they had to deconstruct the whole look, take it down, and my assistant had to completely start from scratch and styled her. It was unbelievable. So, but I didn't take it personal because she's a regular client of mine.
Right.
And she was hitting me personally as well. But, even with your efforts, you just have to be okay
nimble
with whatever is gonna flow, that day.
Flexible and able to pivot.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I know.
And
it was
shout
insane.
out to that assistant because
she killed
held
it.
it down.
Yeah, she killed it.
Yeah, and I had an amazing assistant too, I have to say, to keep me organized.
Amazing. That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Well, so Larry, let's talk about, Regina, let's talk about Gabrielle, just red carpet in general. How does the fashion factor in to what you do? Is that top of mind for you? Is that something that you're not thinking of? How does the interplay between fashion and hair happen for you?
Well, yeah, that is a great question. I think it's always collaborative. I mean, it can't always be the hair show. You know what I mean? You can't battle with hair and makeup. And really the wardrobe sets the tone.
Sure.
Of, and you have to build from there. It's always collaborative. It's always I'm on a text chain, both with Regina and Gabrielle and their respective teams. And we talk about what are our main goals? What does everybody collectively want the end goal to be? So it's super collaborative. There are a couple of stylists that I've worked with that are very specific, and they like to come up with the hair look, right? Which can be tricky at times because it doesn't allow creative space for you, to basically execute in your intention. So those are tricky circumstances, but I think that I thrive the best when it's collaborative with everybody.
Incredible.
Me too.
Carissa, let's talk about the Met. Let's talk about what you did. The Emmys, what you did for Rosie Perez. How did fashion play into what you did for Rosie for that red carpet? Did it play?
Yes, and it always does, no matter what red carpet it is. And usually during the very big ones, you get a picture a few days before. You're collaborating with the stylist. In this case, it was her publicist that sent me what she was wearing. So I had a few days to prepare and think on things because sometimes you have to be prepared and have some ideas if the client doesn't have any ideas either. So being prepared and being organized is the best advice I can give for these sort of high pressured red carpets because they are so exciting and they can be so exciting. And it's like any area of life where you're scared of something because it's high pressured or whatever, there's that fear, but there's also that excitement, like jumping out of a plane, and then it's exhilarating after. So that's kind of what these red carpets are like because it is so scary and there's so much pressure and people and you don't know what it's going to look like or if it's all going to work out. But then afterwards it's like, such a high kind of.
Right.
It is.
So with Rosie, I saw the picture. She was wearing this beautiful gold dress. To me, when I saw it, it's has these arms, like an wing, but incredible. But she reminded me of a phoenix. And with COVID and everything, it's we really need that Phoenix inspiration right now. But so I had some ideas. And when I came to Rosie, I had asked her, do you have any ideas? And she's like, I'm thinking kind of something retro. And I was like, I love that. And that works with this. So it's nice to collaborate with the client. They don't always have ideas, but when they do, it's really nice because you want to make them happy. And sometimes it doesn't always work, but you kind of do your special thing to it. And then, I always ask, what are you doing? What are you thinking for hair? So it all balances because you want a balance. And I think I'm always striving for that. And then, you look at pictures after and you zoom in yourself and you're on your own worst critic. Yeah. And that's where you can then get better next time. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is how her skin, absorbed this or that. And next time, I need to powder this more or, she eats away lipstick more or whatever that is. And then you get better and you do better. And you just, you just train yourself to look at those things and get better.
Amazing. Autumn, circling back to what you did with Simone, you did an Instagram post about the look, and you said, one of your little tips was about using Black Beauty sponges on darker skin. And I'm curious, for you, what are some of those things, because you work with some iconic Black women, what are some of the little tips and tricks that you have to keep in mind when working on dark skin on a carpet? Because, you see some of those pictures, sometimes under those lights, the foundation can go a little orange. There's so much to think about. What are some of your surefire strategies there?
Well, I first have to find out whether they have dry skin or oily skin. If they have oily skin, then it's, even though the trend is to be, dewy.
That
and
dewy look.
glowy, it does not work.
Looks nice in a picture, but maybe not on a red carpet, in an editorial picture.
Yes. And so I sometimes have to control oil so much so that I will use an antiperspirant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Under the foundation. But it just depends on the person. It really, and it also depends on the age. If they're younger, then yes, they can have a dewier, glowier face, and it looks healthy as opposed to greasy. So it depends.
Is it sort of like what Carissa was saying? You kind of get to know what works on this client and what can be improved upon?
For sure. But with Simone, that was my first time working with her. So that was, sometimes you don't have that luxury. So you got to know. You have to just be prepared. But that's where experience comes in to play. But also sometimes, not all brown skin is the same. Sometimes you have a lot of red under your skin, a lot of red. Sometimes I have to add a few drops of red. Sometimes there's more yellow. Sometimes there's more green. It just depends. They're not all, the same. And you have to really
adjust
look underneath. Well, you have to look deeper than what you may see. And also look at the body. You want it to blend with the body, but back to a balance about hair, makeup, and wardrobe. I think that's so key, and that those are the images, the iconic images that stand the test of time, or when hair, makeup, and wardrobe balance. Yeah. And it's so lovely. And when you hit it, it feels so good.
It's like lightning in a bottle, I would imagine.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Like Jason Bolden, the stylist for Allison, suggested a flick liner. And I thought, okay, I want to do, because he is one who likes to, put his input. And I love that because I like to collaborate. But I also love to bring my own creativity. So anyway, she had a big, just white. Right, sorry. So big white dress on with lots of feathers. And I thought, okay, I like flick, but let's do a white flick. Mm-hmm. But then you don't want her eye to, you still want to define her eye. So there was black in the lash line, but you can't see that. You saw the white flick with the white dress in, and she looked like an angel. And, he loved it. So you want to strike a balance.
So Autumn brings up a really good point, Larry, which is the collaboration and the fine line between, you're all creative, so you must naturally have ideas about what someone could do with the makeup, about what someone could do with the hair. Do you feel comfortable sometimes talking about that? Or is it, I'm doing my thing, I'm keeping my head down on set, and we'll see how it works out and hope for the best? How do you navigate that?
Yeah, for me, it depends on who I work with.
Right.
You know what I mean? If it's a really good friend of mine and we're going for drinks after, then it's, tell me what you think about that. I don't mind. You can tell me what you think about the hair. Larry, you think that you can do it? But then there are some artists that are completely territorial and super sensitive. And so
that's funny.
Yeah, it's the majority of the time I kind of just stay in my lane. And I do like the idea of having the group chat that we have, where we're all just throwing out ideas. And you can be in your house, you can heart certain things that makeup send, and they do the same with hair. So but when we're on set and everybody's feeling the pressure of performing, then it kind of I kind of stay in my lane.
Carissa, do you feel that way?
I agree. I think it depends. The teams that you work constantly with, you can usually have more of a collaboration with, and throw out ideas with. But then there are some people that don't want that or don't take that very well. So you stay in your own lane, but there are a few times when like I'll just get so passionate about something, or if I like love the dress so much or something, I'm like, but then we can like do this with the hair and like throw out ideas just because it's, it's so good sometimes. And
It's like reading the room, though.
yeah, and you read the room. You absolutely read the room and you adapt. And I think our jobs are adapting all the time. We're adapting to our client in our chair, I'm adapting to the hairstylist. We're working around each other like a dance with the style, how much the stylist puts in, if they're even there. So it's a lot of adapting.
Yeah. I've asked you before, like at work, I think. I'm sure I've asked you, like, what do you think?
Oh, no, absolutely. Because I just wanted to jump in and say.
I love the
Give me the
collaboration.
tea.
I personally love to collaborate. Like
Same.
more than most probably, because I just like the balance. I like when we are all on the same page. And so we have absolutely talked about what do you think we should do, because, it works out better that way. And I just did the premiere cover of Grazia USA with
I
David
saw. Amazing.
Okay, that editor and she's ridiculous. But anyway, so much fun. No, really, so awesome. Like I felt like
Ridiculous in a good way.
in a good way.
I didn't know. I didn't know. I'm like, uh-oh.
Where's yours is going here?
Warned me before.
No, so much fun. I felt like I was testing. I felt like it was like 20 years ago. We were like testing. Like it was so much fun because we weren't staying in our lane. We were like, well, what do you think of this? And I was like, oh my God, like I live for this. Like this is why I got into this. If I stayed in my lane all the time, I'd be doing television. I don't do television for a reason. I like doing photo shoots and, red carpets and personal appearances because I like to play. I like to play. I did not grow up in that area. I'm still playing with my Barbies.
So I love that you brought up staying in your own lane. It's a nice segue to this next question, which I like to ask because I like to see where we're all thinking about this now, which is the idea of a signature look. And you know what works on your clients. You know what looks good on them. How do you balance that and knowing that from years of collaborating with trying to push the envelope a little, trying to experiment a little? What is that balance like, and how do you toe that line, Larry?
Yeah, I think I'm probably most known for working with Gabrielle.
Right.
And we've known each other for 20 years. And we've done every hairstyle under the moon in my dictionary. And, the thing about her that's great is that she's such a chameleon. She really allows me and trusts me to really just creatively execute things that probably couldn't on most clients.
Right.
So, I'm really fortunate to have that sort of relationship with somebody of her stature and her beauty.
Yeah, I was going to say, and her beauty, because a lot of those hairstyles may not even look that great on somebody else, but she's so freaking gorgeous that it works.
She can carry it.
Yes.
Yeah. We became a meme for Met Ball. Like, so many people loved it and so many people hated it as well. And, we just laughed and chuckled about it because
ultimately we want people to talk about it either way, right?
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
But hair definitely has to stay in their lane, I feel like, in that aspect, because girls freak out. I've had conversations with hair people about like, yes, I know where she needs to go, but I can't tell her yet because
It's a personal thing for some people, right?
they have to ease the person into it, and it's a real challenge for you guys.
You have to build
'Cause
trust a lot, too.
Yeah, because makeup you can wash it off. You know what I mean? If it doesn't work, you can try it again. But hair, I don't know, girls.
Black girls particularly,
Yeah,
they are so specific with hair. Like, I've had clients where they'll look in the mirror after I'm done, and one client in particular, and she's like, oh my God, I love it. It is so amazing. And then she'll go to the bathroom and come out and be like, wait a minute. So
Hold 1 second.
I'm just like, you got 10 minutes to get out of here. Like, you just loved it. What are you talking about? What just happened in the bathroom?
I think I was on that job.
And it wore me out completely.
Carissa, how do you deal with that stuff?
Well, I think it's building a lot of trust with your clients, and it's about levels of insecurities too. And
That's
keyword.
It's more about them, what they're feeling
it's
than
usually
anything
much more.
personal.
Absolutely. It's fairly all the time. And where they are in their life and their day and career, because they're also dealing with so much scrutiny, especially if you're an actress or something like that. And so the ones that are trusting and that are open and that are like, I trust you, you create art, do that. That gives us so much freedom to then have that like creative outburst and try something else. And sometimes it doesn't always work, but sometimes it does, and it's amazing. And then, it's just building trust with your clients, I think, and reading the room, knowing when you can push the envelope and not.
Do you agree, Autumn?
I do. I think that there's a lot of psychology in what we do.
So much psychology.
Every hairstylist and makeup artist says that.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, there's a lot of psychology, and I wanted to major in psychology. I ended up majoring in art history, but I love psychology. I love getting to really know the person and knowing when I can push them. And I have Mara Hill. She's a perfect example of someone who she's beautiful, but she's conservative when it comes to her look. And so she didn't want to try a red lip. And, I did it, and she was like, oh my God, you took me out.
Trust me on this.
Yes. So you just have to know when to do it. And I don't suggest doing it when you're first working with them.
Maybe not the first shoot.
Yeah. Like it takes, and that is where experience comes in, because you have to know that there's going to be longevity. There's a moment, and you're going to know when the moment is, when you can push them.
But to counteract that, like what's interesting about it is like when I first worked with Victoria, I was told to go in to do one thing and one thing only. And I got there and I did the complete opposite, because I felt I'm like, if this is my one time to work with Beckham, I'm going to go for it. And she looked in the mirror and was like, oh my God. And she did the shake and she's like, I actually love it, Larry.
You cut it.
Yeah, exactly.
You cut it.
And she loved it. And she was like, it's me and you. So we rocked together. So that really, I took a risk. And that time, it paid off.
Yeah.
It could have gone really bad.
That's you really knowing your intuition. And intuition is really important.
Yes.
And when you feel that intuition and you go on that, magic happens.
So she didn't go to the bathroom and come back and say,
That wasn't the person.
That wasn't Victoria.
So, not to put you on the spot, but I feel like everyone loves the sort of behind the scenes stories. So I talked to Ursula Stephen once. She said the coolest story about styling Rihanna. The lights went out in Paris. She had to heat the curling iron in the fireplace. I'm wondering, any crazy on-set stories that any of you have where you've really had to pivot and rethink things? I mean, Larry, you talk about, what happened recently with you on the red carpet at the Met Ball. Any other stories like that where you thought, I got to think on my toes here, what am I going to do?
Yeah, I have a good one. I forgot my brushes.
I've done that.
But wait, I panicked like nobody's business. But you couldn't tell. And I started working with my fingers. And guess what?
You're like, it's the new technique.
No, and you know what? I work with my fingers to this day. Because I was like, oh my God, better than with the brushes.
Yeah.
So I learned, but it was nerve-wracking
for a
in the
minute.
moment. Yeah, but yeah, you just have to, you have to, somebody said once, I won't say who the actress is, but you don't look scared because she smells fear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot
Put on a brave front.
You gotta look like you know what
front.
you're doing. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
Any circumstance.
Yes.
And so I'm good at that.
You seem like you can relate to that,
I can really
Carissa.
relate to that.
Yeah.
I can really fake it till you make it.
Yeah,
Oprah,
totally.
right? I've forgotten my brushes at a shoot. I've forgotten lipsticks at a shoot. And then you're like, you have a moment with yourself calmly. And then you're like, okay, get it together.
Right.
And I've used eyeshadows to create lipsticks
Yes.
or blushes to create whatever. And
Yes.
Become a little
you
chemist.
become creative.
Yes. And
Because that's what we're about.
Yes.
And you adapt
Yes.
and you figure out something that's maybe better, you know, and
It plays to all of your creative strengths. Ultimately.
Exactly. But you just cannot freak out. You cannot show them because they will sense your fear for sure.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but we only have 5 minutes left. This went by so fast. Thank you all so much for being here. This was such an awesome conversation. As a beauty editor, I kind of know that the one question ultimately that everyone really wants to know is, what products do you use? So I'm gonna ask each of you if there are any favorites, kit standbys, things that you've newly discovered that you love that you might wanna share with our audience right now. Carissa, do you wanna start?
Okay. Beauty blender always.
Yeah.
Even when I forgot my brushes that time, I did have a beauty blender, and you can use that for so many things. And I love beautiful skin. And so with the beauty blender, you can shear things out so much and blend things. So lately though, that's like tried and true forever. Everyone knows about a beauty blender nowadays, but I've been really getting into skincare tools and using them on myself and using them on my clients to really
prep is a part of what
prep is so important.
you all do.
Yeah, and I have a lot of too that really like a natural look or have beautiful skin, so they're not going to need a lot. But anxiety levels I just finished working on my first movie, which was very exciting, but you know that's a lot for an actor every day, and I prepped her a lot, or I would massage her neck, or certain areas that took her from high anxiety to calm. And it was good for everybody. And then she got to just perform and forget, you know, what she was worried about. And so I've been really liking the Revive. It's like a sculpture. I forgot the exact words, but their newest tool, facial tool, and the Solar Wave's pretty cool too.
Oh, Solar Wave's great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like those two little.
Yes, I keep it in the freezer.
But it stays cold anyway.
I love it.
Yeah. And like I'm really liking the Solar Wave too.
Amazing.
So yeah, like I love.
I just tried the Solar Wave. I like it too.
It's really cool, right? Yeah.
Larry, how about you? What are you loving right now? What's a Larry must?
Of course, it's flawless.
Of course.
So Gabrielle and I launched a hair care line together during the pandemic. And what was really great about it, and still is great about it, is, you know, it's quality, beautiful, amazing products that are affordable and super accessible. In our line, nothing is over $10. And it's for the that has textured hair from 3A to 4C. And we are in Sally's Beauty. We are we're on Amazon, obviously. We just expanded to Walmart.
Incredible, congrats.
Fourth quarter.
Wow, wait, nothing is over $10?
Nothing is under
Did you
$10.
say nothing is over $10?
Nothing is over $10.
Yeah,
Everything is under $10.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we have this 5 Butter Miracle Mask that we just came out with.
It's won an Oprah Beauty Award.
Yeah. Which is
It's a great
amazing.
line.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate it. We have 7 more SKUs coming out
Incredible.
At the end of the quarter. And, you know, everybody should go and check it out.
Congrats on that, Larry.
Yes,
Seriously.
thank you very much. Thank you.
Last but not least, we'll leave it with you, Autumn. What are you loving right now? What products
Well,
can't you live without?
I have to say, I mean, can't live without. I have to give a Rianne Silva shout out. Beauty blender that is
Revolutionary,
it's a must-have.
right,
Yes,
right.
It really is. I love it. But not just the sponge. There's so many things that I use her palette.
Do you like the foundation?
I love the foundation. Well, I love the new tints.
Yeah.
They're great. She came to me before they were out to the public, so I really
she's the
appreciate
best.
that. I also really like Beauty Counter right now.
Yeah,
I am.
Their new mascara is great.
Their mascara is sick, and their overnight peel. OMG!
I'm gonna have to.
So good. Yeah, it's new, and it's I mean, instantaneous results.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love those flash peels. Well, you heard it here, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to Perfect Parent Hair and Makeup with this incredible group of pros. Thank you all again so much for being with us. And thank you for tuning in. We're going to take a quick break before our next panel, and we'll see you back here very soon.